Hi, everybody. It's time for dog skills. Yay. I try to be here every Wednesday at 1:30 this summer, and we are going to be jiving on how to get your dog to come off the leash. I just worked with Kathleen Clyde and her dog Scout, and she had a dog that it's a hound mix, very distracted, oriented with the nose, right? So her dog, ran off and chased a deer, and it was really scary for her. And so she decided that she wanted to work on recall training to, lessen the chances of that happening again. And so today we got together up at Mineral Lake and Middlefield, and we worked with a lot of different distractions to help increase the ability of her dog to come really well. And I wanted to share with you today a lot of those techniques and tools that can help your dog come really well off the leash. Hi, I'm so excited someone's here. Go ahead and type your name in the comments below. I would love to get to know you so I can help you today. And I got a question for you right away, those of you that are listening. Actually, let's say this. How well does your dog come right now? And in what environments does your dog come really well? Does she come, like 50% of the time? And what environments does your dog already have success in? Write in the comments below and let me know. And definitely, like, as you're watching this, if you're watching the replay, make sure you comment so I can help you best and share this video with others. We want other people to get this wonderful information to help them out. All right, we're going to start with sharing the video. Let's make sure it's sharing good. So for some reason in the past when I was sharing, it wasn't working. It looks like we're good to go. Okay. All right, so this is my dog, Seiki, and we're up in Kodachrome. So the first thing that I want you to notice, obviously, is my dog is off the leash and super, far away in a very distracting environment. There he is, and there's a little dot over there. What do I do to encourage Seiki to want to come to me? Do I use a happy voice? Am I yelling? Do I do a short amount of treats, a large amount? Am I using a clicker? Am I giving a high value reward or not so much? Let me know what you guys see and comment below. Yay! Good boy, Six! Come on! Good boy! Chicken for you. Coming so good. Yeah. Good boy. Okay. All right. So we saw what? A lot of praise, happy voice. I did use a clicker and I clicked as the dog was, as Seiki was running to me. Right. So I did a lot to encourage it to be fun. I used chicken and I gave him a decent amount to really make this be a valuable commodity. It's a really great word to listen to. And his come word was woo, because you can use any word that you guys want. In fact, if your dog isn't coming really well off the leash, I would recommend that you train a new word. If you've had a dog that hasn't came well to the word that you've been using for a long time, because then their neural pathway is saying to ignore that word. So if you said come a lot and you haven't gotten great responses over and over and over again, your dog's gotten rewarded for not coming to you. So it might be a good idea to then retrain a new word. That's one tip. I think here I would recommend that you grab your dogs from, obviously, they're not, you know, right? Or in general, like at a fenced-in dog park, we call our dog and then we end everything. So I don't think I showed it in this video, but I actually let Seiki go out and smell again. So that's where it ends, is me still standing here and then continually hiking. So I didn't call him and then put his leash on, or call him and put him in the car and end the whole hike. I actually then released him to go off again. So that's really important that you think of, are you calling your dog and then ending activities constantly? Or are you able to call your dog during the activity and let them resume it? That's going to increase your dog to want to come a lot more if they know that they can do what they want to do still, even after they come to you. So like on a hike, like I might call Seiki anywhere between 10 to 50 times, depending on if I was hiking for just like an hour or, you know, all day on a camping trip. And there could be a large volume of times I called him, rewarded him for coming with treats, high valued, and then released him to go back on the hike again. So that's really, really important to keep in mind when you're training. So then it's also a really good idea to do check-ins. So that means like you reward your dog for paying attention to you when he's off the leash without you actually calling him to you as well. So a lot of times we don't even think about doing that. So this next video, I want you to notice how Seiki just turns around and looks and pays attention to where I am. And I actually reward that.
Seiki set. Okay, go step.
So he's running off. I did not ask him to come to me. I did not say come. I did not say woo woo. I did not say his name. He specifically chose to turn around, pay attention to where I am, and then I clicked and treated that. So that's really important that you do that at the dog park, in your yard, and on a long line, in a safe way to get your dog to start paying attention to you when he's going to be farther away from you. If he can't do that, or she, then it's not a good time to have your dog be off the leash, unless you're in a super safe fenced environment where you're not going to lose your dog. But you really want a lot of check-ins happening.
Good boy. Good job. Go step.
So there's another check-in. I'm going to click and treat that. Your dog doesn't have to sit. He's going to turn around here and I'm going to miss one.
So record him.
So there, we could click and treat that check-in as well. So another thing you can actually do, if your dog's really good at check-ins already, then you could actually train a good recall that way as well. Because remember, our dogs learn by association. So right now, if your dog doesn't know how to come in this particular environment that you're working in, but they do good check-ins, you could say the recall word as they're already coming to you. So in this case, it's woo-woo with Seiki, but I'll use come as the word to give you an example so that you understand better, because probably a lot of you aren't crazy like me and aren't using woo. So here he goes. Seiki, come!
Yay! Nice check.
So as soon as he's coming to me, that's when I could say that word, and then I would click and treat, and I would give the high value treat, and I would give it for 20 to 30 seconds. You really want to use a treat that your dog really loves and they don't get any other time. That's another secret, is doing that really special treat like hot dogs or chicken or cheese, freeze-dried, treats like liver, or freeze-dried dog treats that are salmon, things that are way up on the love category for your dog, and they're going to be different for every dog. And then giving them not necessarily a large amount, but having it last a long duration of time. So it could be a really small amount that's broken up into super tiny pieces. The brain is then going to perceive this word as a word they really want to listen to. So it can really, really help if you do that. And So then basically the dog already was doing what I wanted and I said the word, and now they're starting to learn the meaning of it, because you have to start with getting the behavior down first and then pairing it with the word for your dog to actually understand what you want them to do. They don't know what gobbledygook means. So you could say gobbledygook, 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 or come, come, come over and over again. If they don't know what it means in that particular environment, all you're doing is teaching them to ignore the word. So you want to make sure you associate it with success when they're actually doing the behavior. So we have all kinds of wonderful ways that we can prompt our dogs to get them to come. So in this example, you're going to see the owner doing a running prompt. And you can do that when your dog is off the leash. This dog obviously is on the leash for safety. It's a long line. And you can see that the owner grabbed the leash. Let's see if I can go back. The owner grabbed the leash at the end. Okay, and is giving that 20 to 30 seconds of that really special treat that I had talked about. Here's one that you can really see the running prompt even better. A lot of dogs have that chase drive and are going to want to come to you more if you run. So notice how she's running away from the dog, and notice how she's facing the dog to get their attention first. So she's looking towards him, be saying his name, turning around and running, and then giving a lot of those special treats. Oh, and then we're back to the same dog, different owner, again with the running, right? So if some dogs that are more fearful, the running doesn't work so well and the clicker won't work that great. But the clicker can help because it's marking the behavior. It teaches the dog this is the right thing, food is coming. It sounds very distinct. So it sounds the same between these two different owners of the same dog, which is really helpful. And it is something that I would recommend that you use as long as your dog isn't scared of it. And then the running prompt as well. If your dog has more fear issues, let me know in the comments below, and I can help you with how you would work with that. Because some dogs shut down and they don't want to follow you when you're running. So let's see. Oh, this is a good one. So you can see
universal protection is
here. Once that ad is done running, this owner is camping with his dog and went on an off-leash hike. And you can also see the prompting that he does. So write in the comments below when you watch this video, like what prompts you see this owner doing. So remember, prompting is what's going to get your dog to come really well when they're that distracted. Just saying come, unless they know the meaning of the word really well, which if they do, when they're distracted, you probably aren't going to be on this Facebook Live, right? So if they're not coming well, which would be why you're probably on this call, then you're wanting to make sure you do some prompting, like running or kissing noises or clapping your hands or getting down low, making yourself look super fun, showing the treat, using a lure. Notice the owner's body language to create a good recall. So again, what prompting does he use? And I even kind of walk you through some of it in this video. So comment below and let me know what you see. This owner was training his dog to come and used the word here. And you can see with his body language that he was running to get his dog to
There's one prompt was running, right?
To create a good recall. And now he's giving 20 to 30 seconds of a really yummy special treat to reinforce that recall even more. To create your dog to come really well in an extremely distracting environment, you do have to be exciting. So excitement is the other thing, the other prompt he used. He wasn't yelling at the dog or reprimanding him. He's talking in a really happy, exciting voice. I can't tell you how many owners like their dog bolts out the door and they run chasing after him yelling. Generally, the dog is going to keep running away from you. If you've had some time where you've trained your dog to come really well when you're running in the opposite way as a prompt and being happy, then you're going to be more likely to be able to run away from your dog when that happens and get them to follow you. You do need to practice this on your own at home and in safe environments on a long line or a fenced in area in order to have success when your dog just immediately bolts out the door. Keep that in mind when you're training your dog. Of course, you probably want to train a weight at the door too, right? But you definitely want to work with distractions. So a lot of times we wait to work with the distraction until it actually happens in the environment. What I did today with Kathleen is we worked with a lot of distractions that we set up. So I'm going to show you some videos where some owners set up a distraction and then we're encouraging the dog to come off of them. And if the dog doesn't come, then the distraction gets removed. So we actually have a person that's in charge of the distraction, which is the person in the back by the door here. And Bernadette up here, who lives in Florida, by the way, and did worked with me through online dog training, personalized with Zoom, really got great results with recall work with me. She is the one that's in the red shirt, and she's going to be the one that calls her dog. Okay, so you got the distraction person, and you got the caller. And again, if the dog doesn't come off, then the distraction is removed. It's put behind the other person's back, put back there so the dog can't get it. So notice she does prompting, okay?
There you go, and then just moving around a little bit. Keep moving the distraction around. There you go. And
so we're waiting for the dog to get distracted. I know it's a little blurry, but here you can see the dog starting to think about the toy. So that's what I'm telling Bernadette. Oh, could be a good time to call her dog off.
when he looks over at the distraction, Bernadette, that's a good time to call him off.
Good boy, good boy.
There you go.
So she did the lure and she did walking away. You could do a lure and running away, but walking away can work really well as well, especially if you're older and running doesn't work so well
So
for you.
kind of just like when we worked with the proofing not last time, but the time before to do sit.
Skip ahead.
No, not actually.
Absolutely, it can be either, but he doesn't want to make
You
contact.
can see she's doing a decent amount of treats. Again, we are doing like a 20 to 30 second worth of treats there. Okay, so I guess we just work with that distraction one time in that video, and that's just fine. I will show you some more. So this one
Caller, Frida, come here.
is we have a ball, okay, and again the ball would get removed if the dog doesn't come. It's a goal.
Count, roll the ball.
So let's look. Does the distraction person remove it if this dog doesn't come? And what does Carol do to encourage the dog to come to her?
Okay. Have a roll. Caller, Frida, come. Okay, Frida, come. Good girl, good girl, good girl.
Okay, so she used the name as a prompt. All right, we didn't see any running or the lure, so we definitely would want to add that in there, and I did tell her that. Because we don't want to get in the habit of just saying come a whole bunch of times, right? Which she didn't do. That's good. And the other thing is the person didn't remove the distraction. So Frida didn't come right away. Moving that out of the picture would have been helpful. Let's get Frida back out here and I'll tell you what I mean.
Frida, come.
So I would have, see what we got right here.
Frida.
So Frida didn't even turn and look when the owner said her name. Distraction could immediately go behind the owner's back.
Frida, come. Good girl.
But we still had a good response. So, I mean,
good girl.
perfectionism isn't what we want, right?
Good girl.
Good. And she's grabbing the collar and doing a high amount of that special yummy treat. It's really important.
Okay, now you call her.
So why the heck do we want to work on this? Well, if you want your dog to come really well off the leash, they got to be able to come off with distractions. And just a distraction everyday life you have no control over. So it is helpful to think of distractions that you could use at home or in your backyard or in a safe location to help your dog learn how to come off of them.
Come and then put the ball behind your back. Okay. Okay, and now roll it. Roll it back. Okay.
So to help them out a little bit, of course, I talked this over with Carol. I would keep the ball over by the person that's the distraction. So rather than rolling it, I would have stay over here so you could bounce it, hold it, throw it in between your hands rather than rolling it on the ground and having it go every which way.
Here. Give it to me and I'll roll it to you. Okay. Frida.
So again, we could take out the rolling and just have that person be the distraction. However, we did teach her to come off of a rolling ball, so you could do it that way. It's a good, and she came really, really well there. Nice job, buddy.
You hit her. Now you call her and then bounce the ball. Bounce it.
So at this point, I wouldn't be calling her and saying, come here to go back to the distraction. I would probably just start the distraction and let her go over there on its own. Because we're not getting any, you know, large reward here for responding to come. We're just distracting the dog.
Yourself and catch it.
And you could also try to bounce the ball closer to you so it's not going to go in all sorts of ways. But if it does, just like that, see how he's doing it now? Yeah.
Okay,
But it's not going to be perfect.
Come, Frida, come. Good
Now we
girl.
had a really
Good girl.
nice break off there.
Good girl. Good girl.
That was wonderful.
Good girl.
So we'd want to grab the collar and probably stop the distraction at that point rather than continually having the distraction going while the dog's getting rewarded.
Okay.
So I have another one here.
Collar. Frida, come here.
Oh,
Roll it.
no. Here it is. Where the owner is doing the ball distraction again. And I see I have a viewer. It's wonderful to see you. So my question to you is, what kind of distractions would you want to use at home when you're calling your dog? So we're trying to get him to come off of distractions with not environments, with things that you'd have at home, like cheese, chicken. It could be all kinds of different foods, toys. This example, we're calling the dog off of a ball. Okay. So again, notice how we help this dog be successful with the come. Okay. We don't reward him for not coming by giving him the ball. And the owner also helps him be successful. What are the things that she does that help Frida want to come? So at this point, if the dog isn't distracted, I would have the distractor go to the dog rather than
Okay, Frida, come on.
pushing
Frida,
the dog
Frida,
over there.
come. Come, good girl. Good girl.
Now, Frida does love the ball. The more you practice this, the less they're going to pay attention to the ball, which is exactly what you want. So remember, you want to reward that if they break off right away.
Good girl.
It's a good thing. You want to reward the good behavior.
Okay, Frida, come.
So we noticed we got the lure and walking away as a prompt going on to help the dog to break off that ball, right? Can you see that? So that's the prompting that she's using. We also have the high value treat given for a long duration time. We have a lot of praise. Again, I would just wait for the dog to get distracted rather than gently pushing him over.
Frida, come.
Good.
Girl.
So eventually when they do really well with this, then you could take out some of the prompting. So Frida could be over there with the ball and then the owner's just doing the running prompt with no lure. Remember, the lure is they're all the way up by the muzzle with the treat and pulling them off like a fishing lure. Or if the dog was ready, the owner could just stand there and call. But at any time the dog doesn't respond, you want to add in those prompts because we don't want to just repeat the word and teach them to ignore it. Right? Okay. Is this making sense to you? Down yes or no. I would love, love, love to see your comments so I can help you in the best way possible. And that also allows me to be able to help you best too, because then I can know what questions you have and what's going on with your dog to give you the best value possible today.
I'm back.
So you also could use fetch to train your dog to come really well off the leash.
Glowy.
If your dog likes to chase after a ball. So some of you may have a dog that likes to do that, and some of you may not. Seems to be every time I ask somebody to comment, unless they're a past client of mine, they run away. I think that's so funny. You guys crack me up. So the whole idea is to be involved so I can help you, okay? All right, so otherwise you ain't gonna be able to get your dog to listen to you. Okay, although I can't control that. If you just want to watch, that's cool too, but remember, I can help you a lot better if you talk to me. All right, so this dog is chasing after the ball here. So at this time, the dog's going to want to bring the ball back.
Right here. Good girl, come on.
Right. And then at this point, when the dog is running, that's when you could say, come. And she could say, come on.
Good girl, come on.
So she's saying, come on, as the dog is running to her.
Drop it.
Right. So if your dog doesn't fetch well, then this might not be the best option for you. If your dog fetches great and has trouble dropping the ball, you could use 2 different balls. So that's what the owner's doing here. She has one in her hand and then the dog has the other one. So then when that dog spits it out, she throws the ball again. And then as the dog is running
Good girl.
to the owner, she could say, come here.
Drop it. Look.
And then I think over here, she gets distracted. I can't remember though. Nope, she comes, come. So as the dog's running, that's when you could add that word. And then you're basically training them. The meaning of that word means to run to you. All right. So a really good way to train your dog to come really well off the leash. So you need your dog to learn to come in all sorts of different environments off of all sorts of different distractions, right? So you can't just practice in one location. Definitely get your dog on a long line to work in a lot of different locations. You can work in tennis courts or fenced in, dog areas can work really, really well.
For the harness.
I actually have a video here that I can show you where this dog is in a tennis court. We actually did a Zoom call. So a lot of tennis courts are fully fenced in, and if you live near me in Middlefield, this is at the Village Park at Garrettsville. And the gate there doesn't have a lock on it. So I would recommend that you take a leash and tie it shut so it doesn't blow open on you. And I think we work on recall here. Let's find out.
Because you and I have worked together before, I thought, well,
Maybe not. Let's try here. All right. See what happens.
come off of that. Because remember,
So your dog's far away. That's a really good time. You could call and then do the running prompt or the lure. So right there, see how the dog is now running, and we got a recall going on. So let's just get back a little bit so you can watch that.
Come. Yay!
So she said, come. Right, and that time she's just stationary and not running. But if the dog needed that running prompt, you could add that in there. And this is a really good generalization exercise. You're in a fenced-in area with very low distractions and working on getting your dog to come. Once you're good with that, then you could go to a dog park that has no dogs during like the off-hour times, and get them to come there. And then you could start coming when dogs are there and working on the check-ins like I showed you. But I just wouldn't have the treats on you if you're at a dog park. I would hook them on the opposite side of the fence and then stand near there. And I'd probably only give 1 or 2 treats to my dog rather than 20 or 30 seconds, just because you don't want to get swamped by dogs. And that can really help with getting a dog come really well at the dog parks. They're naturally running to you. You say come, click, and then reward with that high valued treat. Long line work, can be really, really helpful. So you can generalize in a lot of, different locations.
He doesn't care about bushes.
So you're going to notice that the owner is going to let the long line down. And then call her dog. She said, come. Okay. Or you could say it when the dog already is coming to you to help make that association. And then she clicked, grabbing the collar, giving those 20 to 30 seconds worth of high valued treats. Right. This is a good one too. She's in a different location now. Her dog's going to be digging. And then she's going to call her dog off of that. So now we're kind of dealing with actual distractions that are happening outside that are not in your control, different smells.
No, there you go.
Good, and she said, come on, and the dog immediately broke off. If that didn't happen, then you do your running prompt or your lure. So continually practicing on that long line.
Pella Windows, tested for extreme.
Really, really great idea. We got another ad going on here. Happens on YouTube. So I'm going to show you this one video, and this dog actually gets distracted by a lilac bush, and the owner also has a dog on the long line. He's on a sidewalk. If you're going to do it on the sidewalk, make sure you can do it safely. We don't want you falling and tripping and cutting yourself on the pavement. Be really easy for that to happen. Okay, we'll skip back a little bit here.
Black bush.
She's calling his dog.
Oh, there you go.
Dog
Good.
runs past, so that's something that you
And
want to
she
be
ran.
aware with the long line.
Sometimes
That's
that
happening
happens.
a lot. It might not be a good thing to do. Riggy stopped doing that, but a lot of dogs want to run past. The sooner you get that click in there, like you could click farther back, a lot of dogs won't run past you then because they think about the yummy treat. It's not always the case, but that can help. So he's going to go up here by the lilac bush. And then you're going to see that he does the running prompt. And the idea isn't that the tug of the long line
Good.
gets the dog to come. You want to have the
There
long
you
line
go. Now
loose.
just walk away. Good, and then call
So he
it.
did get a little bit of a pop in there. I think we want to make sure that
Yay!
the dog is falling because you're running, because we do want it to generalize off the leash. And notice that he is grabbing the collar and giving the 20 to 30 seconds of that yummy treat, and then you can let your dog explore again.
One more right there.
And do some more. There's
She's
a
already
second he
predicting
could
what's going
reward.
on. She's like, I'm gonna come to you anyway.
So you could literally work on come training on your leash walks. There's another time you called it again. There was tension on that collar. So we want to make sure that they're coming not because they're feeling that pop. So Seiki and I would walk on the sidewalk a lot and on the long line, and I would shorten it up at times and then let it go, let him get distracted, call him, let him explore some more, and then call him. Really helped with generalization, but you want to make sure you do this safely again if you're doing it on the sidewalks. They can go in the street and everything. So don't do this if it's going to be unsafe for you and your dog. Practice in like a field, like the other examples that I showed you with the long line today. So here's another good example with the dog in the yard. and we're using a lure to get this dog to come.
She is really smart.
And the dog could be off the
So
leash
we're
if it's fully fenced in, but this yard was not. So that's why we have the dog.
here in Salt Lake. It's Joanna again with Four-Legged Scholars, and we're getting Lagartha distracted. So there's
Or maybe it was. I can't remember. I guess it probably was fully fenced in because we did drop.
she's
her
smelling
here.
a little bit. So you go to your lure, or chewing on the stick actually. So you want to go up to her muzzle. Nice.
So if you were getting your dog to come in the house, you could go up to where they are, lure them, run, and call them into the house. And then remember, you want to make sure that it doesn't end with, okay, now you're going to be in the house. Let them go back in the yard again. Call them again that same way. Let them go back in the yard. Call them again and maybe leave them in that time. So then the most of the time that you're calling, they actually get released to go back in the yard again. The lower probability is they actually have to stay in the house.
So we're just pulling her off.
And again, notice he's grabbing
so
the
if you saw
collar and he's giving the 20 to 30 seconds worth of the treats. So then we have a barking distraction that ends up happening here.
muzzle.
So he's gonna do the lure.
Good. Keep
That's why
walking
you
back.
see
Click.
where the barking happens. I
Good.
can find my mouse. Mousy, where are you? There you are. Go back. Okay, there's the barking. All right, here we go.
Oh, that's good. So use that. So use your lure. So go up to her muzzle. Good. Keep walking
Run it
back.
all. Yep.
Click.
And then
Good.
the 20 to 30 seconds worth of those treats.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yeah, so getting your dog.
Aha! So fun. All right. Well, I hope that was helpful for you guys so you can create a really great summer with your dog coming really well off the leash. If this is too advanced, then you can look at some other Facebook Lives that I done on more basic things on this is going to be a more advanced learning phase, right? Just go in the search area on the Facebook page, and you could type in come. In fact, I want to see. I think I'm not sure that I can do it on my end, but I know when I've gone on to other people's pages, there's a little search bar. So you could type in come in there and those videos can come up. Of course, if you have trouble finding them, let me know and I'll more than happy to share them with you for sure. And I'm really glad to have, or to help you today. I hope this was beneficial for you guys. I will be back again next Wednesday, close to 1:30. And if you liked what you saw today, definitely schedule a free phone chat with me. I would love to see if you and I are a good match to work together. There's a link pinned in the comments below at the top on Facebook where you can schedule a free phone chat. I would love to chat with you on the phone and see what your struggles are and see if I can help you and your dog. And again, I hope to see you next week on Facebook at 1:30. Also, if you live in Ohio, I am doing quite a few workshops up at Chagrin Yoga on the energy behind dog training, all about how your thoughts and your emotions affect how your dogs respond to you. And there is a link for you to sign up for that. It's pinned in the comments below as well. And it will be going on in September and October on Saturdays. I would love to see you there. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.